So we have this little dress. She's not gonna put it on because it's too tight. But she bought it with her whole back to school outfits, and has dog hair all over it now. Everything in my life that's black has dog hair over it now. All right, but so I'm gonna cut it in half. I'm gonna use the zipper for the top part and a new zipper for the bottom part. But I'm thinking about cutting it here at the waist, well, their waist, so I keep kind of that line, and then she's gonna add some stuff. She has done a little sketch. She wants this Hello Kitty character there. She's gonna do some like flutter type sleeves. We're hoping to add the flutter type sleeves to these straps, and then she's gonna do some things here, and then she's gonna add here so it's not a super duper crop top. But we're gonna see how it goes with these straps that we have. But the first thing I'm gonna do to get this all going is open up right here on this seam. It doesn't go all the way around, so I'm gonna have to cut the back. But then I'm like, if I cut it that high, I wish I knew how to add a zipper piece, because then this could be like a 2-in-1 zipper. But it don't. So, or even just leave this piece for a look and add some kind of invisible zipper here. I don't know. But we're gonna need a zipper both ways because there's no stretch. So for her to be able to get in and out of it. So we're gonna see. Okay, so this is it. I left the whole zipper on the shirt part because I realized when it comes down, it's gonna need to open up all the way because it's gonna be like a fluttery thing right here. So I left the whole zipper there, and I'm gonna see if I have a zipper for this, so I can keep. Yeah, so I can keep the shape there, but everything will have to be opened up on these side seams because this is snug as heck. I don't even know why I thought that. I think because I couldn't really try it on because of everything. So she got it, and then she swore she could fit it, and then they had already went back and exchanged, and then she couldn't find this one. So she kept it. I don't know. I didn't realize she still had it. So let's see. And then she wants to. I'm trying to find a SVG file for the Cricut because she wants to add a little character here. But so we're gonna open the side seams, and then she wants to do like the ruffle thing with this fabric, and then the flutter sleeves and stuff with the lace, and then I'm guessing from the way this looks, she wants the pink to pop out of this. So I don't know if I have enough for that, but we gonna see. So first thing is opening up the side seams to see how much fabric you have to add on the sides for her to be able to even fit in it and close it up. Okay, so now I opened up the sides so that I can see what I want to do. At the end, I wound up changing the whole thing, so I didn't really have to cut it in half, but whatever. But anyway, you can see this is the part that I'm using the sleeves. I decided to use another shirt that I had that I was going to do a thrift flip with because I got it because I like the trim and stuff on it. So it's basically the sleeves from that shirt, but you only need one side of it. So I'm just going to cut it and then fold it over the straps. So it's not like a sleeve. It's just something to make it look like it's like a mock sleeve, whatever and stuff. I'm going to fold it over real simple and then just top stitch it down so that it closes over the straps and, you know, tack it at both ends. But I wanted to show you, if you ever wanted to make like, you know, one of them slip ponchos, cover-ups or anything like that, it's just basically two like rectangles, and you would cut out your neckline and stuff and then sew up your armhole a little bit like lower than your armhole would be. Just sew up the sides and then you would have a slip over kind of poncho like thing, and it's real simple to make. I was supposed to make one this summer and I didn't, but I will get to that. But I want to make sure I save as much as the trim, because I'm gonna be using the trim to open up the sides and stuff. So I'm just gonna cut along one side so that I can get the sleeve part of, for both sleeves, I'm gonna get that one side because it's the front and the back, and it's enough to make the sleeves. So once I do that and then open up the side seam that's on there, then I'm just going to fold it over like I said, and then top stitch it. Once she tried it on after we did that part, she didn't like how long it was, so then I kind of shortened it. But you could just see, you tack it at like both ends, find the middle, and then kind of just scrunch it up in between to make it all gathered like, so that you'll have the sleeve, and it's kind of like a little flooded sleeve, but without having to actually go in and make a sleeve. So if you have like a cami top or anything that's like, you know, with the little thin straps, you can add that type of detail to it and then give it like a whole nother look, what have you, and stuff. But after I cut the pieces for the sleeves and stuff, I was just trying to see about the bottom piece, but I changed my mind, like I said, on that piece. But anyway, right here, I'm gonna take the trim, so that's why I made sure I didn't cut too close to the trim that was in the middle, and use the pink piece under to open up the sides, because she's only 12, so she doesn't need a open lace side. That's just doing a little bit too much. Even though she is in middle school, that's a lot. So I'm taking the trim from the neckline of the other shirt, and like I said, I'm just gonna line it with the pink fabric that I have. So I just cut 2 strips like that size, but a bit longer, because the like neckline and the hem and stuff on the things were mostly done, not for the top though, because I cut it in half. But so I just want the piece to fold over, because I don't have to do the whole neckline and stuff. So you just want the piece to be a little bit longer so that you have that piece to fold over when you're done. And I'm just going to attach it, you know, right side to right side. So the lace side, you're going to have, you know, right side to right side, and then the pink side is going to be underneath it. With the lace trim, you're going to want to make sure that it's the right side facing up, because, you know, when you have lace and stuff, it has like a wrong side and a right side, and sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference in the two. But anyway, once you have those, you're just going to, like I said, flip it over, put it right side to right side, and then pin it and then sew it, and then you'll do the same thing with the back, and then you'll do both sides. And also when you're working with, like, you know, when you're opening up a shirt and stuff like that, and you're still leaving the straps attached, you want to make sure before you put it together that the straps are not twisted up in any kind of way, because if you pin it together and then sew it and the straps are twisted up, then it'll be hard to untwist them, you know. So you want to make sure that they're straight and they're how you're going to want it to be when you're done. So like I said, I went on both sides, and making sure on both sides to leave the little like lip piece to fold over so that the neckline could be complete. And then I was again playing around with how I was going to do the bottom part, but like I said, I changed that in the end. And so I went on to sewing on the sleeve parts. So like I said, with the sleeves, you're just going to fold it over and then top stitch, and then you'll gather it up along the way so that it's kind of roughly light. And you want to make sure that you tack it down on both ends, because if you don't tack it down on both ends, what is going to happen is it's going to slip back and forth, so it's not going to stay in place. So once you have it in the place that you want to tack it. So that's just like giving it a few stitches at the front and the back over the straps. So it's like you're attaching the lace to the straps at that point, you know, so that it stays in place. And then that'll be it for that part once you have pinned it and sewed all of that. And then you'll basically be done with the top, and then you will go on to, if you wanted to, adding the bottom piece. But once she put it on and was done, I decided it was too busy. So I went on to the bottom part, and the bottom part, I'm just going to do the same thing I did to open up the sides of the top part. I'm going to cut the strips and add the backing to it, and then put it right side to right side, the front and the back, and so forth. But for this part, it's just one extra step, because you're going to be doing the little ruffling detail, if you're doing it, the ruffling detail. With the ruffling detail, you don't want to come all the way up to the top of the waist, because when you fold it over, then you'll be folding the ruffle into it. You still want to leave the lip for the trim side that is opening it up on the side, but you don't want to leave the lip for the ruffle part, because when you fold it over, you want the ruffle to hit right kind of where you fold it over at. So make sure you pay attention to that. So you can do this 2 ways with attaching the ruffling. All right, for the first part, I just pinned it all together and ruffled it as I went, and then sewed it all at one time. But you can also do the ruffle part first and then come back and do the trim on the side, so you can gather it all up. You can also use a gathering stitch in different ways, a gathering foot, and I have like the gathering foot and stuff like that, but I like to have control of how I want it. And plus, I didn't have long enough strips to really use the gathering foot, because it gathers it at a consistent rate, and I was working with scraps, so I didn't have a long enough piece to make sure that it wouldn't cut off halfway to gather. So this way I had more control of it. Okay, so once you're done, you'll see if you did it the first way, when you put all the pieces on together, then you'll just have to attach the back piece the same way you did the front, with just the trim side, not the ruffle part, because that's just going to be for the front or the back, wherever you want it at. I put it on the front so you could still see it from both ways, but it was just a cuter effect for me on the front. But if you did the ruffle part just, and then you want to attach the other side, then you would do it that way. So either way, whichever way is more comfortable for you, because when you're gathering all 3, it's going to be a little more work just to make sure everything stays together when you're sewing it all together. Okay, now you can see when she tried it on, it was, you know, kind of close up, because the skirt was kind of like high waist. Even though if I put the hem on, the waist on, it would have tucked in more and it would have been lower. But I didn't want like any of her belly to be out, so the layer for the lace would have to be real long and it would have looked busy. So I decided to attach everything back together and make it into a dress. So really, I didn't have to cut it in half. So if you would just add into the sides, you would have to cut it in half, and you can leave the zipper intact and all of that good stuff. And then you would just really have to work on the sleeves and the side. But I did it the long way. But it was a learning experience. And it was just a way too to show you what you could do, because you could make it into a 2-piece. So I attached everything back, sewed back on the zipper, and you can see how the ruffle is hitting right there. If I would have put it higher, it would kind of been tucked into the seam, and it would have gave it a weird little look. But like I said, once I attached everything back, I folded up the hem part on the bottom there, and she changed her mind also on the front little character, because she said it was too busy looking. So we're going to put it on a t-shirt or something. But this is the full look. She loved it. And that was it. If you like, please give it a big old thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe so you can follow along for more great DIYs and thrift flips and different things like that. And I will see you in the next one.